Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hey there, everyone. It's your host, Phill, again, and we got Marillyn Brame with us again. How you doing today?
Doing quite well.
All right. I'm glad to hear it. So, Dr. Marillyn, we have a few questions here today I was hoping we could get answered.
Fine. Let's see what we have.
All right. So first we have Mary from Orange County in California. She asked us, about 2 years ago, she was visited by aliens in her backyard when a UFO came, and she was terrified of this whole situation. Doesn't really remember anything, but she remembers it landing and taking off. No one believes her, and she wants to know, how can she get over this?
Is she any place close to Mission Viejo?
I'm not sure. Is Orange County close to that?
It's in Orange County.
I believe she is close
I'm
to that.
talking from there.
Okay.
I would suggest that when we hang up here that you give her my phone number, because she can't be more than 20 minutes away.
Okay.
And tell her that I have had them land in my backyard, so I can discuss this with her and remove the fear.
Okay, sounds good. And we did have another question here from another guy in Mission Viejo. His name is Mark, and he said he had his son playing outside back in 1982 when his son was 7 years old, and he heard some screaming from the backyard. He wasn't paying attention, I guess, and he saw that there was a UFO in the sky, and his son disappeared, and he didn't see the son again. And him and his wife said they're devastated about the whole experience, and she thinks that they should go seek therapy, but I don't know. She thinks it might not help them. What would you say to them?
Well, it won't cure it, but they may be able to negotiate.
Okay.
And if their son has disappeared, they might be able to get him back.
Well, that's good. It's good to be hopeful then, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So for the rest of our listeners here thinking about these extraterrestrials and these UFO encounters, do you have any sort of, I guess, advice based on, I guess, your own experiences with them?
Well, it's very difficult to give someone advice because every situation seems to be different. I have friends, actually. I had a friend who was one of the teachers in the space program. She has since passed on because this was some years ago. But she could not keep herself from being abducted. And yet I have another friend who simply decided that she would not go and didn't. So it's, I guess, I really do believe that they're extraterrestrial. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't make any sense out of it other than that. And I have paintings, of course, being an artist, of one of the places that I have gone to, and paintings of some of the hybrid kids. So if they're on this planet, they're well hidden. I don't know where they are. And from what I can tell, because I've been dealing with this since the 1950s, as far as I can tell, they have the same variety of, well, we'll call them people, as we do on Earth. We have lovely people who would do nothing wrong, and we have people who are pretty much terrorists. And it's the only thing that really makes sense, because there are abductees who have been really tormented, and actually, as far as I've been able to tell, more of them who have just been taken to be educated in various other ideas, and just let known that there are people.
So you're
if we could call them people, and then they have hybrids, and their educators are quite concerned with the physical problems that they would have because they are exposed to a different environment than we are here. And they are trying to produce hybrid children who are resistant to some of the diseases that we have on Earth and they don't have.
Okay, so you're saying that these extraterrestrials, there are some of them that are just completely evil?
Well, I think they are, or maybe not evil. I mean, look at what most of our citizens think.
Yeah.
And if you just reverse that, it's pretty simple that not necessarily that they're evil, but they are doing things that actually frighten us and in some cases harm.
Yeah.
And most of them are probably not that way, because the more people I run into and the clients I've had, most of them have just been scared to death because they don't know who or what this is. It suddenly appears. And again, I have a number of friends who have just been taken to be educated. And certainly everything I've experienced has been education, except that I can't get any information as to where it's coming from.
So this education that I guess you've received and your friends, what are they trying to teach us?
Mostly that they think they're normal. I have spent more than a few hours somewhere where I am not aware until I'm entering this big iron doorway, and I do have drawings now of the floor plan as much as I've seen, and where they raise children who are now half earthlings, as they call them, and half whatever they are. And some of them there are a lot of them that are huge, tall, and blonde. They look just like humans.
So,
and then there are what everybody seems to talk about, the grays, and these are not really people. Even to them, they are type of robots who actually do all the work for them.
Okay. So why do you think they're sharing this information with us? They want us to know that they're among us?
I think probably. I think it's reached that point. And then what would we be doing if we actually get people up on Mars and heaven knows where else? It's going to be the opposite, and our people are going to react the same way.
Yeah. Okay, so them teaching us that there are half aliens among us, half alien earthling, do they want us to, work with them towards something?
Well, I think work with... They may be... Actually, I haven't been given that information, and a lot of the information I am given, and then they can wipe it out. They use telecommunication.
Yeah.
So they can read what you're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And they would like for us to be able to do that, but so far I haven't gotten any more information, and that they wish we could.
So they wish we could, but they don't want to teach us that?
Well, I don't know if they're teaching and wiping that much out. Those of us who are going through this, and right now it has stopped for the last probably 7 or 8 years, but it was almost constant for about 10 years. And I don't know. I don't have that information.
So you're not sure why they stopped doing that?
Right.
Okay. So do you find that peculiar that they just kind of stopped out of the blue like that?
Sort of. I have disappeared, and they have science that allows them to make people disappear from one place and appear in another without knowing what's happening in between. So.
Okay, so is that kind of like teleportation kind of thing?
It would be, I guess you would call it teleportation. I have been removed from, well, take an actual place, coming up the hills out of Las Vegas, up the big hill, and seeing little green spheres running around. And the next thing I remember, I am on the highway just at the bottom of the hill in California with a huge semi-truck screeching, honking his horn, flashing lights, trying desperately not to hit me. I wound up right in front of him on the road. And if you drive that often, there's a turnoff where right before you get into the city, you can turn off, and I managed to get off of that in a big hurry, and he went blaring by. Now, how I got there, I have no idea, because I have no memory of what happened in between.
So how long ago did this happen to you?
That, it's been maybe 20 years.
Okay. So then, I guess after that happened to you, you just journeyed back home, basically?
Well, yeah.
All right.
And then it happened again, coming back from Mexico. I did have property down in Baja. Mm-hmm. And it happened at another area. And I don't know. It's just, all I was afraid of was being hit by a car or a truck or something.
Oh, yeah. So you said you have some friends that have also had similar experiences with this, right?
Yeah.
Do they remember anything else more about it, or?
Well, Judy has actually written a book about her experiences, and particularly when she was a teenager.
Okay.
I can't, at this point, remember the name of it, but...
Okay, so sometimes the extraterrestrials decide to wipe the memory and other times not?
Yep.
Okay.
And people who are really frightened, because I did belong to a group of people who were just interested in UFOs and extraterrestrials. I can't speak today. Anyhow, most of them are really living in fear, and they remember nothing. They just remember disappearing and reappearing. And then there are those of us who come up with some information, and then there are spots where we have no information. We don't know where we've been. And I think I'm probably one of the few who's been long enough to make sketches and then do paintings of where I've been.
Yeah.
And I have started an autobiography, and hopefully I will have it done by the end of the year with the experiences, because mine start actually when I was about 6 or 7. And that's many years ago, because I'm now 96.
Yeah. So you're talking about how you and other people have been, I guess, for lack of a better word, teleported to different areas.
Yeah.
Has there been like any cases that you know of where the people have been teleported and then they've gotten, like, God forbid, like hit by a truck or like killed by a truck or anything like that?
Not that I know of, and I did start reading reports of all the accidents all over the place.
Yeah.
If there was anything strange, but I haven't run into anything else. But I'm sure it has been more than me.
So these extraterrestrials that are teleporting,
and they haven't happened in years.
So it seems like they're always putting you and other people in situations where you won't have a fatality or die or anything like that.
I think probably. I think that it was not deliberate to drop me in front of a truck.
Yeah.
I think they just didn't think about it. I just got dropped.
Gotcha.
But to get people to believe that is really interesting. I don't tell that to many people because they just believe that I'm making things up.
Yeah, I could see that. So, has there been like anyone else that's, I guess, written more about this or like described in detail maybe what they've learned from these extraterrestrials?
Well, there have been a number of people on Coast to Coast who have written and are writing still, but I just haven't investigated it.
Okay.
It's reached the point now where I am just getting the thoughts that I really need to get them written down, because I have almost finished my other autobiography, which is just my life, which has been totally different. The work that I've done, the things I've done. I grew up when women stayed home and cleaned the house and raised the kids, and I spent my life in engineering. So I am just finishing that autobiography now. And actually, I do have a biography that was written about my career in life. Is actually somewhere on the internet in a who's who. So,
all right. So
anyone who's interested can find that. But as far as the UFOs, the first time I saw UFOs was over Cape Canaveral, because I used to live down there, and we used to stand and watch the UFOs come out. And usually there would be 6 or 7 ships of some sort, and then the Air Force would deploy, and they would just go straight up and disappear. Not the Air Force, the UFOs. And then I have been in a small plane, actually over Torrance, California, when one of them dropped down right in front of us, and we almost hit that. And I have paintings of what I remember of what that looks like. So.
Okay, well, these paintings you've done, are they like on display somewhere? Do you share them with people?
Oh, share them with anyone who wants to. Right now, the one that we nearly hit actually was being shown by a friend of mine, and her husband died, she moved and sent the paintings, everything she had, including that, to Goodwill. But I have paintings of the hybrids, some of the hybrid children, and paintings of where they are being raised. And then I have a floor plan of that. But I've just never done anything with it. Just too busy living life, I guess.
Yeah. And you said that these hybrid children just look like anyone else, like any human, right?
The ones that I've seen actually have huge eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And they are missing a finger. They have 4 fingers.
Gotcha.
But almost all of them are blonde. And they are being raised by gray people who I've been told are actually not people. They are, I guess we would call them drones. I don't know what we would call them. But they tend to do to the kids, raise the kids, and I have paintings of some of the kids that I had seen. And the one friend of mine who is now deceased, when I did the first few paintings, I took them over for her to see, and she burst into tears because she said that she had been impregnated, and they had shown her later on the child, little boy, and she pointed to this one picture. She was in tears. She said, "That's my child."
Oh, wow.
So, I don't know, everything is interesting, but there are no real answers to anything. You know.
Yeah.
It's hard for us to attach logic to anything that helps, except that right now I'm sitting in front of a painting of 3 kids and painting of the wherever that is. It's a building in space, I guess you would say.
Yeah. All right.
But, they're in my living room, but they have been exhibited around in different exhibits for my art school.
Gotcha.
And that's the reason I said these people were in Mission Viejo. For heaven's sakes, just have them call me.
Yeah. All right. Well, if our listeners or if anyone else here wants to reach out to you, how do we reach you?
Probably my email. And I don't know if I've given that to you or if I can give it to you right now.
Yes, please tell us again.
Visual Arts Murals. It's VISUALARTSMURALS @cox.net.
Okay. Well, Marillyn, it was been a pleasure talking with you today about this, and thanks for joining me here again.
Well, thank you for inviting me. And but I would like, everyone who is running into these experiences, tell them you can live quite a normal life. Mine's quite normal. I am, of course, a doctor of hypnotherapy. I have my PhD.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have an art school, and I teach my art classes in my studio, which is actually in my home.
All right. Well, Marillyn, thank you once again. I hope you have a great rest of your day here.
Thank you so much.
All right. Take care.
Okay. You too.
All right. Bye. The rest of our listeners will be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.